My question was, there's been a lot of discussion recently about growing the commercial tax base through bringing in new jobs by adding quality office and industrial projects. What is the town proactively doing to secure sites or add infrastructure to guarantee its success in the very competitive business of economic development?
Great, thank you, Mr. Powell. Would you like to answer that?
Yeah, I'll give first shot. So I co-chair the Economic Development Committee with Mr. Jensen, and something, obviously we're doing 70-30 in the mixed use nodes. I made a couple of notes here. We're working on certifying sites and making that process. So we're giving our Economic Development Department and the market certified sites to come and recruit businesses to. And we are also working on potential incentive packages, looking at what we could do in conjunction with the Wake County and the state of North Carolina to help bring business to them.
He took all my answers. But that won't stop you from saying something. No, it doesn't. I'm under the gun at home. I can't say much, but here I can say something. But and once again, we're redoing the 2030 land use plan to enable the opportunity for businesses to come in here. And of course, the certified site is a critical thing. The certified site means that it's ready to go, basically. And we are working, I can't say exactly what we're doing because it's a land purchase situation. But we are doing everything we can to bring businesses here so that people can work where they live. And as Wes noted, the incentive package that we're trying to put together, we want to have it better than any other town. Incentive packages don't necessarily get the initial bunch of businesses to look at you, but once they do, when it comes down to the final thing, the incentive package does help. And we'd be kind of giving away part of our tax for maybe 5 years, but after that, we've got a business that pays a lot of taxes. It makes for a better tax base, and in the long run, if we do that, all of our taxes will be less. So it's really important that we do it for quality of life and for tax-based purposes.
I think we also need to recognize our fantastic economic development department. Karen is here, and Joanna Helms also working together, trying to get our name out as Apex and also trying to get out what the qualities of life that we have here and the talent that we have here, our, again, location and relevance to Research Triangle Park, what a great location is to be for people to bring their businesses. So I do want to give Karen and Joanna Helms a shout out.
I'll add one more thing. I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, I think it's Wake County Economic Development is doing a three-part series question and answer with the Holly Springs Economic Development and how they recruited it's not Novartis anymore, it's changed, it's been bought out, but the big pharmaceutical company that they got down there. And what I'm learning through this process is that economic development is a big long-term picture. Holly Springs had a vision in 1992 when there was like 900 people in town. And they had a vision for this business park that was in the middle of the woods with a stone road that went down it, but they had the vision and they sold that vision. And it took them 15 to 20 years, but they were in the right place and met the right people, and that vision stuck with somebody. And now, they have a huge employer down there that's a global, multi-billion-dollar business. So it's a big long-term process and hopefully we're taking the right steps now to bring the employers to that.
All right, thank you. And maybe one last thing. So Councilman Jensen mentioned a little bit about some of the things that we do. So just to be clear, council meetings are all open meetings with a few very specific exceptions that are allowed by law for very specific and strategic purposes. And one of those things is when the town wants to do something with regards to either land acquisition or land use from that standpoint, sometimes the council will go into closed session for those type of discussions.
I say that as a preface to say there have been discussions about economic development, about looking at specific parcels, determining are these good parcels that a corporation might be interested in, and if so, what can the town do to perhaps purchase, make improvements, and then make available to that company as, and I hate to use the word shovel-ready, but that's the proper term, as a shovel-ready site. So when we go knock on somebody's door and they immediately say, yeah, we're interested, we're looking to move right now, what do you got? Right? We don't point to a piece of dirt, we point to a piece of dirt that has improvements, that has all the rezonings done, that everything's ready to go. All you really need to do now is bring us a set of plans. What do you want to build? What do you want to use it for? What's the use? But I think we're making efforts to go down that path. The idea here is that we use some of the economic development methods that Chris Chung spoke about this morning, that Joanna Helms has been doing for her 20-some year career in economic development. And the idea there is it'll bring non-retail jobs, jobs that are the kind that somebody gets tired of driving 30 minutes to RTP or to Raleigh to work and they'd rather trade it in for a 5-minute commute. Yes, sign me up, please, right? Those kind of jobs, those are the kinds we're looking for. Those are the companies I think we're looking for. And there are plenty of people around here, I think, that can take some of those jobs when we find the right people and the right opportunity. All right?
So what does it take to certify the land? You mentioned all those terms, but like, what are we talking long term here? What's the time frame to make that happen?
Okay, so while I don't want to necessarily entertain too much follow-up, but I'll follow up because I think that's a fair question, one that maybe we should address. It takes a long lead time. It's a long runway. So it's a C-30 trying to take off fully loaded. You know, it's one of those things where you have to identify things on a map. And frankly, there are enough process steps that we rely on staff for a lot of those. We help set the vision. We help say, yes, I think this is going in the right direction. Hey, let's pick one or two more. Let's get a couple more in the hopper in case that one fails. Right? So that's the kind of guidance that we give our staff. And they follow through. Our town attorney here make sure that what we're doing is legal within the state's regulations. And at the same time, doesn't put the citizens in a position of risk from a cost perspective. Everything we do, we want to make sure we're very cautious with the money that we do invest in, that if we have a legal instrument that will protect the investment so that no matter what happens, we'll get the money back at some point and our risk is really reduced. But numbers, it could be perhaps as quick as 12 months maybe, but I'm not the pro on this. There are people who do this. Joanna Helms is our economic development director. She could answer that a lot better. Sometimes it can take as many as 5 or 8 years if the family don't want to sell yet, right? Sometimes there's family land. They're like, well, we're not ready to go yet. So, but keep calling us. Call us back next year, right? Yeah, sure.
To make it, to boil it down, kind of like a 50-point checklist almost. You have to do these 50 things, if you will, and then the site is certified. So working through that checklist, again, if they're not ready, the family's not ready, there's a whole multitude of things that could delay that process. But essentially, there's a checklist of things that make a site certified.
Like water and sewer, infrastructure. So that would be